manifests onto the rainbow road. And actually, you don't go directly to the rainbow road. Your golden kind of particles go up into the sky, and I see this sun, and the sun is the exact trademark symbol or logo of the Raisin brand. I see that sun with the puffy cheeks, and it's just like the half the sun, and he's got 2 big scoops of raisins in his hand, and it's totally Raisin brand for me. So I don't know. I told you, people I know come through really convoluted, so get ready for a really funny ride. But so basically, and I ask what the reading of your story was, and they say, "Help me." And so I see this sun, and he's got these 2 big scoops of golden raisins in his hand. So I don't know if there was like a trade. I remember there was some kind of slogan that went with it, like, it's not like the best stuff on earth because that's Snapple, but you know, it's like one of those slogans. So I don't know. I couldn't come up with that. So I don't know if it has any pertinence to the symbology of the sun and the Raisin brand or not, or if that even has symbolic meaning for you. But anyways, the raisins then start to fall down in through the sky onto the rainbow road, and they turn into golden dust. So I know this is again you manifesting again, and it turns into that. It's like an old school kind of ice cream cone with a soft serve, like perfect swirl up on the top, and it's like a cartoon ice cream cone. It's like the chocolate and vanilla swirl, and he's got like the cartoon eyes, and it's almost like that old school drive-through movie or drive-in movie theater, that like candy bar, the popcorn, the soda that would like go marching in front of the the movie screen. It's like that's the kind of look that this has, and it's this ice cream cone that's kind of just has these like stick arms and stick legs and these circle eyes, and it's just like marching back and forth. And so I don't know. Again, I said like everything comes through really convoluted. I have no connection to a symbolic representation of this. And so from here, then the marching turns into, I start hearing the Lost Boys from Peter Pan when they're marching, and I don't hear their song at all, because usually I hear their song, but I don't hear any of the words. So I know it's not the meaning of the words, but it's more the meaning of the Lost Boys marching together from Peter Pan, and it's the whole. Like that's they're whistling in my head the whole time. It's that song that it's like dee-do, dee-dee, dee-dee-dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. It's just they keep marching and repeating that over and over. And I see the little guy like swirling his teddy bear and kind of following along. And so from here, then I get this like circle, this dark circle, like almost closes out on that visual image, and then the circle opens back up, and I get Bugs Bunny laying on his stomach chewing a carrot, and he goes, "That's all, folks." Oh, but that was Porky the Pig. But I don't know. That's what he said. "That's all, folks," and it like goes back down into the black hole. And the next thing I see is this little boy, and he's got his thumbs in his ears, and his 4 fingers are kind of pointing up towards the sky, almost like a bullwinkle thing, and he's like moving them back and forth, and his tongue's out, and he's spitting like that, like doing that at you. And you're this little girl, you're this very like small young girl, maybe 2 or 3, and you're in this like pink nightgown, your hair's kind of long but pulled back, and you've got this teddy bear with you, and you're like scared of this little boy, and this little boy's like being super mean to you and kind of taunting you, and so I see you turn away, and you start walking away or whatever, moving away from this image. And so then you start moving into what I would consider like Alice's rabbit hole, but you never fall. Well, you will, but in the beginning you're walking, and it's like this tunnel, and it's that same kind of vision of, you know, when Alice falls down the hole, and there's like a circular, it's like you're surrounded by a room, but there's like portraits on the wall, and you're just kind of like walking and really kind of just not like really questioning what's going on, and you're walking and you're getting deeper into this hole, and all these portraits you're staring at, and I don't know what it is. It kind of feels family, but I don't know. And so finally you get to this T juncture where like you can go forward, keep going horizontally, or there's this like tube that goes straight down, and you're staring at it and you don't know what to do. And before you can even make your decision, this like huge skeleton bone hand comes up the hole and like grabs you, and now you're terrified, and so you're being pulled down this hole, and as you're being pulled like really quick down this hole, it's interesting because this like big spider comes up and weaves a web around you almost like you're a fly, and then moves up towards the top of the hole that you fell down. And so this skeleton hand is now holding you in this like spider's web, pulling you down almost like you've been captured type of a thing, and pulls you all the way down until you get to the very base of this this tunnel or whatever it is. And so now I see you're placed down on the floor, on the ground, and you're woven in this like spider's web, and you start, and I get this vision of the Hobbit when what's that guy Frodo gets like the spider like weaves him in her netting. Like that's exactly kind of what I see you as, and I see you start to pull this stuff, this sticky kind of web off of your body, and you still have your teddy bear, and then you look and you see now what's in front of you, and it's really trippy. It's almost like a Dia de Muerta type of a thing. It's like I get like the Day of the Dead, very kind of reminiscent of that. But I see these two big skeleton hands, and they're like almost like dinosaur bones. They're so big, but they're these two big skeleton hands laying on the floor. And then it's this huge skeleton head and mouth, and the mouth is open, and it's almost like from Aladdin, the sand tiger, when he comes out and he's that big. That's how big this like skeleton head and the hands are. And the mouth is open, like wanting you to walk in. And I see all these like rainbow colored kind of disco lights coming out of the mouth at you, and you're this little like 2 or 3 year old little girl with this teddy bear in your hand. And so you start walking in towards the mouth. You walk into the big skeleton head that is definitely the Grim Reaper, and all these lights are coming out. And as you're standing now in front of the Grim Reaper within this big like skeleton head, he's on like a juror's pedestal and looking down on you, and you're this tiny little girl in your nightgown with your teddy bear standing on what looks like a disco floor. And he says to you, Miss, and he says your full name, first, middle, and last name, what brings you to me today? And you look up at him and you say something like, I don't want to be who I am. And he looks down at you and says, but why don't you want to be who you are? You're a beautiful, innocent, young little girl. And you look up at him and you say, I don't want to be a beautiful, young, innocent girl. I want to be just like my brother. And he looks down at you and says, but why would you want to be like your brother? And you look up at him and you say, because he's strong, resilient, and everybody loves him. And he says, but if you choose to be strong, resilient like your brother, then you're going to lose a component of your femininity. And you said, that's okay, I want to be just like my brother. And he says, if that's what you choose. And so then I see you grow into this huge, it's almost like you become this giant within this cave now, and you take on these qualities of strength and resiliency, and so from here I see you grow so tall, and you're now on the Rainbow Road, and you're like full size, and I see you checking out the door frame, a wooden door frame, which is basically my symbology to move to the next kind of point in this reading. And so I see you ready to move through this door frame, and as you jump through the door frame and through this portal, you're taken into where I'm going to see where you are in the chakras. And so you jump down, but then you get pulled up into the heart chakra. And so I see you in the center of this green orb representing your heart chakra, and I see you begin to suffocate, almost like it's like a plastic bag around you, and you start to like panic, being trapped in this heart chakra, and then you start like clawing your way, trying to tear your way out of the heart chakra. And so now I see you on the outside of this bubble that is your heart chakra, and now I see you looking within. So now it's still now it's like a big kind of almost like a bubble wrap bubble, and you're like, your arms are outstretched around the outside of your heart chakra now, and now you're looking in to see what's on the inside. And I see that little girl, that, you know, in the nightgown with the teddy bear. I see that little girl on the inside of the heart chakra, and I see you on the outside of the heart chakra, and I get that there's this like, that little girl inside is of course your inner child, and I get that there's this connection between the vulnerability. You know, it's almost like you felt like you were trapped when you were in that place of the heart chakra and being vulnerable. And so our inner child represents that which sometimes we deny, but it's our greatest kind of it can be our connection to our greatest kind of destiny in life, or our greatest joy in life, you know, when we begin to honor the inner child and what the inner child wants and what the needs of the inner child are. And so I feel like, you know, going back down to the interaction with the death, and, you know, and being a child and wanting to be something that you are not, you know, asking for the strength and the resilience, you know, almost denying yourself as that young child and wanting to be something that you weren't, and giving up like the femininity. Now seeing you here and seeing this imagery, I'm getting that maybe there was this denial of a component of yourself, and now it's almost like this component of yourself has been so so protected, and so almost like not trapped, but so pushed away and blocked, like it's not allowed to kind of be out. That inner child that was vulnerable, that was, you know, typical things of femininity, like vulnerable and soft, and had those kind of attributes. It's almost like those things in yourself were protected and hidden away, and now it's like there's this disconnect between that person that's in the inside of the heart and the person that's on the outside of the heart. I get it, that it's like almost two versions of yourself. So now I see you slide down and move down to the ground, and I see you standing now what's in front of your Akashic records, and your Akashic records take the shape of this huge circus tent. And I see on the top of this circus tent there's like a motorcycle going around the very top tent, you know, and like you're getting ready to walk up into the tent, and as you move inside the tent, it is like mass chaos. It's like chaos is the best kind of word I can use to describe it. It's like this circus is not organized. It's like there are bears running on the people in the crowd, like there's motorcycles up in the people on the crowd, like everything is just out of order, discombobulated, like chaos is the best word I can use to describe it. So I'm trying to get what the you know, what this is connecting to for you, and I'm kind of getting pulled back to that inner child and what the struggle was, and, you know, trying to think, you know, I'm kind of thinking, okay, maybe there was a circumstance in your life when you were younger, you know, that taunting or whatever it was from that kind of child that came through with the bullwinkle horns, like that was making fun of you, I'm not sure, and that made you choose to, that there was some kind of chaotic something in your life that made you choose to have this separation or something, and so I call down your higher self because I'm at a loss, and I call down your higher self, and your higher self comes through, and it's this like, so the only way I can describe it would be like the eloquence of, if this can have eloquence, of the Kung Fu Panda, that tiger, the tigress, I think her name was, and that, like, you are this female tiger with angel wings. And so instantly I know you're presenting yourself as strength and resilience. Like, what else could I put, you know, attributes to a female tiger being, you know? And so I see you as this like female tigress, and you start talking to me, and you say basically you're confirming the series of events that happened, and saying, you know, that this was a choice to take on the attributes of strength and resilience, and that there isn't a harmony between that version of the inner child that was denied and the person that you are today, and that there's this harmony, this softness, or this vulnerability that is still being blocked, or that's still being protected, that's still being guarded is a good word, within your persona. And and I see, like, as you're talking, then your higher self takes the shape now of your inner child, and you become the inner, that small girl with the teddy bear. And so I'm getting this drastic kind of pull between these two personas that are within you. And it's almost like there's this want for the connection or the harmony of these two components of yourself to come about and to take place. And so anytime you're working with the heart chakra, to do work around personas, and why we choose to take on different archetypes or masks or personas, why we choose to take on certain things at certain points in our life, to do some work within that, I think will help to bring about an understanding of why certain attributes were chosen over other attributes, and how it's okay to allow those attributes that weren't chosen or that were pushed to the back to now take a forward seat, or a connected part of your life, that you're living in today. And to allow those things to kind of harmonize and come together is what it seemed like. The higher self and the messaging was wanting to happen. And so I'm pulled back to the message here of the help me, and it seems like that's the voice of the inner child coming through, like, help me, give me the light again, like, allow me to be comfortable being in the spotlight, and kind of like voicing my opinions, and being heard, and being able to be vulnerable, and soft, and receptive, being received by those who maybe have who have come through as that symbolic, like, lost boy, the boy that was taunting you, those other kind of characters that have popped up symbolically throughout the reading. So with light and love.